Welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited today because I have the all-new Shimano XTR. We are just doing the drivetrain as I didn't get this for free like a lot of those other channels, so really excited to see from a completely consumer perspective how the stuff installs and what we're looking at. So before we get into it, please subscribe, and if you need anything for yourself or your ride, check out Jensen USA. They already have this in stock, both the 45 tooth and the 51 tooth configurations, so go ahead and check that down there. Let's take a look at this stuff. All right, so we have the all-new derailleur, pretty good looking, significantly smaller than the SRAM Transmission, especially because I did go with the 45 tooth as well as the Cassette. Got a battery and charger, as well as this new shifter. Really, it's got the double clicks. As something I'm used to, I'm excited because I am constantly shifting the SRAM transmission incorrectly, and it's something you get used to, but this just seems easier. And most people aren't starting with the electronic transmission, so I'm always confused when SRAM talks about how they just made it more intuitive, because if you start with a regular shifter and finally upgrade, it's probably easier to go to something like this. But yeah, I've got the 45 tooth Cassette here. They changed this up a fair bit with a new coating on most of the cogs, and it matches itself a little bit better than the outgoing one. So hopefully over time it just looks nicer. It's really light. That is one part that I think is a big selling point, is as suspension keeps improving and we see gearbox bikes, we keep hearing how reducing that unsprung weight is important. And a lot of the brands have actually been increasing the weight out back, whereas this is finally reducing that weight. So looks good. Let's take a quick look at what these things weigh. So for the derailleur, 244 grams. For the new electronic derailleur, 390 plus a battery, 412. And then as far as the shifter goes, we are at 105 compared to 124, and we should probably count the housing as well, 180. And last we have the cassettes. So the new Cassette is 323 grams on my scale. And the old one, 373 grams. 372 grams. Let's get this stuff installed. This is my long-term pivot switchblade, and because I'm doing most of my riding on this bike right now, I'm going to throw the XTR on this guy. First things first, got to swap that cassette. Unlock that, something I won't have to do with the new derailleur. Shift it down. And to be honest, this is one of the pain points of the new system. Shimano has, for a long time, had an issue with releasing a group set and then everyone having to wait like a year to get it. I was really excited that this one did not have that issue, but they did need a special new tool. So I did have to source that. And of course, Jensen USA does not, or at the point of ordering this, did not have it in stock yet. So it's kind of annoying. Definitely something everyone needs to be working on. I had an XTR group set a long time ago, and it actually came with the weird crankset tool. So I don't understand why this couldn't have just come with the cassette. Seems like that was a little loose. Take another look at this cassette. So a couple of cool things about these Shimano cassettes is they are made out of titanium, steel, and aluminum. So your smallest cogs are steel so that they are the strongest. Then you got a bunch of titanium cogs, which significantly reduces the weight, and follow that up with the aluminum in the biggest cogs that have the most teeth engaged at a time. Don't exactly know how this cassette's actually going to go on, so this will be interesting. All right, there's a wide gap there. Just gonna line that up. And there we go. Same idea here. And here. At this point, there is a small dot there, and that helps you line these up because all of a sudden you're covering the splines. Oh, and this is just loose in there. Makes sense, but let me grease it real quick. Got some Shimano premium grease here. The neon booger looking stuff. Just a bit of grease on that lock ring. Line up the dots. Goes right on, no problem. Careful not to move it as I'm slowly tightening. The new tool. Let's see if it works with my cassette wrench, or cassette tool wrench. Perfect. There we go, now that is nice and tight. I guess the next step is just to pull off the old stuff. Just taking the chain off now. Have these chain link pliers make this a lot easier. These I got from Jensen USA for really inexpensive. It's not a tool I use a ton, so I'm okay with it being a little bit less expensive or lesser quality, but so far they're good. I don't know that they are any lower quality. Jensen's in-house foundation brand is what they are. Next, pulling off the derailleur. That's a 6, I'll need a 5.
You think they have a special tool because they don't expect people to do this?
They have the special tool because it's a new thing. It's the first 9-tooth cog they've ever done. So because of the first 9-tooth cog, they needed to redesign the lock ring.
It's a little bit like Apple including headphones before and then not now, and you know?
Yep.
How can they commoditize?
One like the cassette coming with the tool is one thing compared to I mentioned the cranks coming with it. Cranks are a pretty forever piece to your bike, whereas the cassette is made to wear out. So just winding this up so that it stores nicely.
Oh, because it's electric, you won't need
any cables and housing. And just because I don't know what bike this drivetrain is always going to be on, I did opt for the band clamp on the shifter rather than the I-Spec direct mount. I love how the I-Spec looks, and for the most part, it always puts the shifter where I want it, but in order to not have to worry about what brakes I'm running, I went with the band clamp style. Go ahead and pull this all the way out, and now time to start the reinstall. All right, let's get this thing back together. A lot easier to put the wheel without a derailleur. Then let's install this battery. So there's a slide here. Oh, yeah, slides right up. Got some arrows, hopefully indicating, yep. See if I can slide it back down as easy as I slid it off. Yeah, and we got a green light. Good sign. One thing to note, whenever you're doing this kind of thing, it's a good idea to just check that derailleur hanger. Make sure that that's still lined up. So I got the alignment gauge here. Bike's pretty new, so hopefully I haven't smashed it into any rocks. Check out the derailleur and see that, yeah, maybe a little bit, but not bad. Check it at a few spots. And there was a little bit of a tweak needed, but nothing too bad. There we go. All right, we already have some thread lock on there, so probably just gonna leave that be. Interesting power port there, it looks like. Oh, maybe that's B tension actually.
It's hard to see in there.
Yep, that's B tension. Looks like it would hold water. Next, we're gonna measure the chain. That is a step that I am going to double check that there's nothing new about. All right, so Shimano's method of measuring is big ring in the back, on the chain ring in the front, basically here, and then adding 5 to 6 links. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So in theory, this chain is maybe short or it's already perfect. I'm gonna put it through the chain, the derailleur, and kind of do the more traditional, the way a lot of us have been measuring chains for forever method. So yeah, that looks just about perfect. The new system does come with a new quick link. You should always use the new quick link. The old one will not survive the amount of force that this new derailleur may put on it, and your legs could do. So if you pedal that link onto the top, you can just hold the wheel and give it a good push. Pops into place.
What was that was popping into place?
The quick link. All right, what do you think? Did they include a battery? I'm gonna guess yes. Yeah, we got 2 batteries in there. Cool. So I'm gonna pull out my eTube project and check that out. All right, so opening up Shimano eTube. I'm in my garage, so I don't know, it says my Wi-Fi is still plenty good. So we're gonna hold this button till it flashes blue. Question is what button? Oh, there's the button. I'm gonna hold this button till it flashes blue. There it goes. All right. Pair. Do later. Okay. So let's add a switch. Well, that looks pretty clear to me. Oh, there it goes. Pairing complete. Connection complete. Yeah, so now we have to disconnect to allow this to work on the derailleur. All right, so once we're in this big cog, I'm going to set the limit screw. So the limit screws are really just there to keep your derailleur from going into the spokes or pushing the chain off towards the spokes or doing it the opposite into the frame. These guys are labeled L and H, low and high, which is a nice feature. The other thing you can do is, if you can see the light in there, you can actually see the gaps. So we're currently in the low. We'll see if I can see under here. I cannot. Oh, there it is. So I can see it just start to touch. And I want to see it move the derailleur slightly. All right, so now it's moving the derailleur ever so slightly. I don't want that. So I'm just going to back it off. Quarter turn. Then we're going to shift back down and do the same with the high. Okay. All right, let's make sure that high limit is in a good spot. So I can see there's a complete gap, so the high limit screw is not touching at all. So I can see the high limit starting to come down and touching. Perfect. So backed it off just slightly so it can overshift without shifting off of the cog. So you can see this is the little nub and that's the limit screw right there. So I'm turning it, it's going back and forth. If I go too far, it starts to move the derailleur. I don't want it moving the derailleur, but I don't want it to allow the derailleur to go too far. So I get it to touch and then back it off just like a quarter turn. And the last thing to check is the B tension. So now we're going to do the B tension. You can see it says low right there. And this is a nice feature. In theory, you would want to do this under sag, but it's going to be close enough. And if I need to adjust it, I will later. But yeah, just so those points touch and the derailleur's set up.
What points touch?
Just so that the arrows touch the teeth. All right, undo that, slide that on. Boom. I will set these once I get the bike on the ground as far as positioning. All right, so let's take a look at how this rear derailleur shifts. So, a couple cool things. You got the double click. You have the hold down. And it goes all the way. Same going back. Yeah, it feels really good. I love the feel of the shifter. I like the multi-click option. It feels very intuitive, just like what I'm used to with other Shimano products. Looks like I should maybe let that high limit screw out slightly. So there you have it. This stuff looks really cool. I'm excited to get it out on the trail, find out how it actually performs. They increased how aggressive this spring is, but it's no longer a clutch. A lot of people are questioning that, but it looks good. You can see how they made this a lot smaller than like your SRAM transmission to hopefully allow it to glance a rock rather than completely impact a rock. And then there's also the impact feature, which if you smash it into a rock, it releases and then goes right back to how it's supposed to work, which is interesting. They used to have a feature like that on the older Di2 stuff, but you'd have to reset the system, whereas this goes right back to normal. Really excited to check this out on the trail. All right, so this was just a quick overview and install. I'll have a full review coming soon, and I'm excited to get this out on the trail and try it out more. Don't forget to subscribe and check out Jensen USA if you want to pick up some new XTR for yourself. I'll be excited if I build myself a bike to get some of the new cranks. They look pretty cool. The old cranks actually looked really cool too. Don't know about the brakes, but the drivetrain, the electronics is the most important part and the quickest to install. Not to mention, I'm really proud of Shimano for making it reverse compatible so I don't have to buy everything new. I could have used my old cassette. They have it in this full kit, which is a nice little way to sell it. And you can buy it pieces, but remember, if you buy a derailleur and a shifter, you are going to have to buy a battery still. It doesn't come with it. So yeah, get out there, go fast and take chances. See you next week.